I'd like to introduce to you today's speakers. We have two sessions today. After each session, we are going to have a short Q&A session. Again, you can upload your questions below the screen. Then President Moon Sung-hye of the Support Center will select some of the questions and deliver the questions to the speaker. So, in about 5 minutes, we're going to listen to the first presentation provided by Dr. Uy Wang, and the second presentation will be made by Mr. Rappaport. A lot of people helped us for this year's conference. I'd like to thank government officials of the Seoul Metropolitan Government, Industry Associations, Korea Diamond Trading Association, GIA Korea, and Jewelry Network. And taking this opportunity, I'd like to thank all the stakeholders for their kind contribution to this year's conference. Now I'd like to invite Kim Jong-mo, who is the president of the Korea Jewelry Industry Promotion Foundation. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This year, all nations around the world are experiencing unprecedented emergencies such as coronavirus. And despite these difficulties, we're having this Seoul International Jewelry Conference 2020, and it is a very delightful event. So I'd like to welcome all of you for being here. And especially, although there are some time differences, we have two distinguished guests, Dr. Uy Wang and Mr. Rappaport. I'd like to offer my appreciation to them, as well as President Moon, for giving us a lot of support. Not just in this event, but for the development of jewelry industry, we are getting a lot of support from the Seoul Metropolitan Government. So taking this opportunity, I'd like to express my gratitude. And our jewelry industry will exert a lot more effort for the development of local economy as well as national economy. Thank you very much.
네, 이사장님 말씀.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Now I'd like to introduce to you the moderator of the session. I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Moon Sung-hye from Seoul Jewelry Industry Support Center. 30 years ago, she established the GIA Korea, and so far she helped 3,000 or so gemstone experts. She also served as the GIA Asia Pacific Director. I'd like to now turn over the microphone to Ms. Moon Sung-hye, who's going to lead the sessions.
Welcome everyone to 2020 Seoul International Jewelry Conference. And SIJC prepared very good two experts in our industry to share their knowledge with us. I know there are so many trade members in Korea are watching this webinar, as well as many trades in other countries as well, and GIA alumni are in our room also. Okay, let's start. The first speaker, Dr. Uy Wang. Okay, do we have him?
연결이 되었는지요?
Yes, sorry. Oh, now I see you.
네, 지금 접속을 하셨습니다.
Can you hear me?
잘 들리십니까?
Oh, I cannot hear him. Sorry.
Yes, hi.
Oh,
yes,
good,
I can hear
good,
you.
네, 잘
good, good, good.
들립니다.
So it's kind of a little bit of a technical difficulties. Okay, let me introduce Dr. Wei Wang. He's a really well-known gemologist, and he's a vice president of research and development at GIA. And he started working as a scientist at our New York laboratory since year 2000. And Dr. Wang's article was widely published in many gemological and geological journals. Today, Dr. Wang will give a presentation on the new services and technology development at GIA. It must be very late for you, Ui, right? 11
It's
p.m.
perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
And thank you so much for staying up late to give a talk to the industry leaders in Korea as well as in other countries in Asia. Okay, so floor is yours, Dr. Wei Wang.
Thank you very much, Shanghai. And let me just try to start sharing my slides. Okay, good morning, everybody. Somehow I hope you can see my screen, you can hear my voice. It is a great pleasure to be able to attend this conference, despite I have been in Korea for many times. Every time I enjoy a lot visiting the beautiful city of Seoul. It's interesting, I messed up my schedule. I thought the talk will be tomorrow. I like to thank Shanghai Mount call me to remind me that talk actually is today. But I'm prepared. So today, I'd like to use this opportunity to give you some update of the service and technology, some new developments in GIA. I'm going to cover two topics today. One is diamond verification. How do we know the diamond is the report stated to be? It's a very, very sensitive topic. How can we verify that? So that's the first topic I want to cover. And that's a new service that GIA want to launch pretty soon. And then I'm going to cover another topic about the evolution of the laboratory-grown diamond grading in GIA. It's the laboratory-grown diamond is getting quite well-known in the market right now, and GIA's the grading service is evolving with the time. Now we know almost every diamond of significant size is traded in our jewelry industry with a report. And either come from GIA or from any other labs. It's very important for a diamond to have a certificate.
발행이 되고 그래서 저희가
It's
감별하게 되는데요.
That the report
그
and
감정서의
the
내용이
diamond they match. But
그리고
what exactly says in
감정서에
the
있는
report
내용이 다이아몬드와
is
매칭이
what the
된다고
diamond is
우리는
supposed to.
생각을
That's
합니다.
assumption.
우리는 그러한 전제를
Maybe in
갖고 있습니다.
the real world, most cases,
아마 실제로
correct.
대부분의 경우에 감정서와 다이아몬드는
but not
매치를 할
always
것입니다.
necessarily true.
그렇지만 항상
So I'm going to
100%
show you
그런
some
것은 아닙니다.
examples. What
몇
we
가지
see
사례를 말씀을
in GIA
드리겠습니다.
laboratory.
GIA 레버리토리에서 어떠한 현상이 벌어지고 있는지,
The
어떠한
diamond
일들이
I've
보고
been
있는지
showing
말씀을
here,
드리겠습니다.
the
지금
left-hand
보여드리는
side
다이아몬드는 왼쪽에
is a
그림이 나와 있는데요.
HPHT
고압 고온
laboratory-grown
방식으로
diamond.
만든
It is a synthetic
합성
diamond. It's
다이아몬드입니다.
an HPHT technology.
HPHT 기술, 고온 고압 방식을
We
이용해서 만든
identified that in the
것이죠.
laboratory.
저희가 그래서
But
레버리토리에서
surprise!
그것을 알아냈습니다.
On the
정말
diamond
놀랐습니다.
girdle,
왜냐하면
there's an
거들에
inscription
이렇게
with a
가름이
report
있었습니다.
number.
그러니까 보고서
Actually, this
번호가
report
있었던 거죠.
number
그리고
was
이
issued
보고서,
for a
그리고
natural diamond.
감정서가 실제로
The
발행이 됐던
HPHT synthetic
천연
and the natural
다이아몬드
diamond are
감정서
pretty well matched
번호였습니다.
in weight,
그래서
close
무게나
in clarity,
아니면
close in color,
투명도
and
또
equal
색상
clarity.
이런 것들이
So
어느
this
정도
diamond was submitted for
비슷했습니다.
abated service.
그래서 지금
So
업그레이드
basically,
서비스를
somebody
위해서
is
저희가 실험실에
trying
들어온
to use
건데
a synthetic diamond, HPHT lab-grown diamond,
저희가 검색을
to
감별을
substitute
해보니까
a natural diamond.
이렇게 합성 다이아몬드였다는 것을 나중에 알게
So this is
되었습니다.
not something we see very often years
물론
ago.
이러한 사례가 자주
But when we
발생하는
look at
것은
the
아닙니다.
description here,
그렇지만 여기 각인이 된
the
것을
inscription
보시면
actually is very easy to tell.
이
That's not
각인을 봤을
exactly
때에
GIA's inscription. Just from the
GIA의
font,
각인이 아니라는 걸 알 수가 있습니다.
we will
폰트가
be able to tell
다릅니다.
that's not a GI
저희가
inscription.
GIA에서 각인을 할
But
때 쓰는
obviously,
폰트와는
somebody is going
다릅니다.
to use an HPHT
그런데
lab-grown diamond to
HPHT
substitute
합성
natural
다이아몬드 대체문, 그러니까 실제로 천연 다이아몬드 대체품을 만든 것이죠. 또 다른 다이아몬드를 여기
This is a CBD
보여드리겠습니다.
synthetic lab-grown diamond,
이것은 CBD
1.03
화학
carat
이상
F
증착
color.
반식으로
and we identified the CBD
1.03 캐럿 F
lab-grown diamond,
컬러의
no doubt.
다이아몬드입니다.
But on the
합성
girl,
다이아몬드죠. 근데 거들에 여기도
it has a much
마찬가지로
better inscription.
각인이 되어 있는데
Again, this
이전에
report
본
number
것보다 더 각인이
It's a
GIA와
natural
비슷하게 되어
diamond
있습니다.
report number inscribed. It
그
looks like a
천연
real GI
다이아몬드
inscription,
감정서에 나와 있는 그런
but it's matched
GIA의
pretty well in
보고서
size
번호가 들어가 있는
and
것입니다.
in color.
사이즈나
So
그리고
now, in
컬러도
addition to
매칭이 잘
use
되어 있습니다.
HPHT lab-grown
그래서
diamond, somebody is using CBD
HPHT
lab-grown diamond,
방법뿐만 아니라
to
CBD
substitute
방식을 이용해서
a natural diamond.
천연 다이아몬드와 비슷한
Well, this
모조품을
could be more
만들어낸
complicated
것입니다.
than that. Very recently in
복잡한
GI
상황도 있습니다.
Tokyo Laboratory, we find
저희도 레보레토리에
5.4 carat D color
5.4
diamond.
캐럿짜리 컬러
This is
D에
a
다이아몬드가 들어갔는데요.
HPHT treated
이것을
natural diamond. Okay, try to make it
HPHT
clear.
처리를 한
It is a natural diamond,
다이아몬드였습니다.
but
천연
HPHT
다이아인데
treated to
고압
change
보온
its
방식으로
color
처리를 해서
from
색상을
brown to
바꾼
D
것입니다.
color.
그래서
Well,
갈색에서
this
D 컬러로
diamond has
바꾼
inscription
것입니다.
on it.
여기에도
Again, it is a
마찬가지로
natural
각인이
diamond.
들어 있었는데요.
Report
천연
number,
다이아의
right?
각인이 들어
These
있었습니다.
two matched really well.
근데
5.4 carat,
실제
those
5.4
are D
캐럿
color.
그다음에 색상 D가
Very
매칭이 되는
interestingly, this
그러한
natural diamond is
다이아가 들어온
also a
것입니다.
type 2A diamond. They're using a HPHT treated natural 2A
HPHT
diamond
처리를 한
to substitute a real natural type 2A
다이아가
diamond.
실제로 우리가 인증서
about it,
감별서를
it's
감정서를
the size
발행한
of a
그것과
5
비슷한
carat
것이
and D color.
들어왔다는 거죠. 5.4 캐럿의 D
Well,
컬러.
if that's bad, that's not
다이아였습니다.
the worst.
네, 이것뿐만 아니라 더
Now,
심각한
very
사례도
recently in
있었습니다.
GIA,
최근에 GIA의
South Africa lab. There is a mosamite.
사우스 아프리카
That with
랩에
GI's natural report number inscribed.
지금 여기 보시다시피
So it's a massive
천연
rotor,
다이아몬드의
1.2
리포트 넘버가
carat.
들어있는데요.
And
지금
mosamite
푸른색에
colorless, but natural
1.21
diamond D color.
캐럿짜리
Also match
그리고
pretty
컬러
well.
2에
So somebody even
이러한
tried to
다이아몬드가
use a
들어있습니다.
mosamite
그러니까
to substitute
모자마이트를
a natural diamond for cell.
이용을 해서
So I
천연
just
다이아와
used this a
비슷한
few
것을
example
만들어낸
to show
것이죠.
you
야, 이것은 지금
In the
1.2kg짜리였습니다. 그래서 실제 상황에서
the diamond and the report. They not
다이아몬드와
necessarily match each other. That
감정서가
somebody's
매칭이
interest,
되지
meaning in the
않는
consumer
그러한 사례가
interest,
있다는 것입니다.
got hurt.
이것은 우리
becoming-
업계에 큰
So what do we
타격을
see
줄
in
수밖에
GI
없습니다.
laboratory? Very likely, I'm pretty sure, it is just a tip of the iceberg.
저희가
probably
아마
a
이렇게
lot
이런
of
사례가 적발이
cases
됐지만
like
이것은
this
빙산의
in the
일각이라고 생각을 합니다. 아마도 시장에서는
So it will
이러한
become
사례가 더 많지 않을까 이렇게 생각을 합니다.
Much more important
여기서
to
더 중요한
have a
것이
simple way
있는데요.
we can verify
우리가
the
좀 더 단순한
diamond and the
방법으로
report.
다이아몬드와
match or not
보고서가
match.
매칭이 되는지
It is
아닌지를
highly
감별할
demanded.
방법이
But how do
필요하다고
we do
생각을
that?
합니다. 그럼 우리가 어떻게 이런
To
것을 할 수
confirm a
있을까요?
diamond match the report,
다이아몬드가
we
보고서와
need to
매칭이
confirm
된다.
this for loose diamond
이런 점을 어떻게
as well for mountain
확인할 수
diamond
있을까요? 그리고 루스
as a claim
다이아몬드와
to me. How do
마운트
we do it?
다이아몬드에
Well,
대해서
first,
우리가 어떻게 감별을 제대로 할
GI
수가 있을까요?
need
먼저
to supply a
GI에는
unique information of the diamond,
다이아몬드에
and the
대해서
information is
독특한
collected in GI.
정보를
Right?
부여하고 있는데 그것이
To have some
GI를 통해서
information
수집이
there,
되고 있습니다.
share with the public.
그리고 그러한 정보는 공개가 되는 것입니다. 그 다음에 동일한 정보는 소비자들도 그리고 클라이언트들도 받을 수가 있는 것이고 그 정보가 서로 부합하는지 살펴보면 이를 통해서 확인할 수가 있습니다. GIA가 클라이언트에게 정보를 제공을 하고 클라이언트도 그러한 정보를 받아서 자신들이 갖고 있는 다이아몬드가 정말로 그 다이아몬드가 맞는지 확인할 수 있는 것입니다. 클라이언트들은 그러면 그렇게 할 수 있는 디바이스가 필요합니다. 물론 단순한 것도 될 수가 있고 복잡한 것이 될 수도 있는데요. 어쨌든 기본적인 요건을 충족하는 것이어야겠죠. 이러한 디바이스라는 것이 빠르고 쉽게 운용할 수 있는 것이어야 됩니다. 너무 복잡하면 운용이 어렵겠지요. 그리고 결과도 정확해야 합니다. 그리고 이동식이면 더 좋고요. 온도나 습도나 이런 주변 환경에 대한 최소도 요건이 있을 것입니다. 그 다음에 원석의 상태에 대한 최소 요건이 있어야 되겠죠. 아주 클린한 그런 원석은 안 되겠죠. 그러면은 그런 요건에 맞는 디바이스를 만드는 건 상당히 어려울 것입니다.
And for mounted stones, because it is very important not only to confirm a loose
이러한
diamond
디바이스를
is what
통해서
it is
루스
supposed to be.
다이아몬드
It is similarly important to confirm a mounted diamond as was supposed to be, because there are a lot of manufacture process. All of these issues could happen during the manufacture process. So it's very important to confirm a diamond mounted on a piece of jewelry. And this device should also cover a very wide range of size and cut shapes. And it can work for small stones. It can also work for large stones. It can work for round stone, and it should also work for other fancy cuts. Above all, this technology should be very low in cost. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It needs to be low cost for GIA, and it also needs to be low cost for the client. So with all of the requirements together, and with all of the needs for the business, for the trade, so we developed this. We try to take the advantage of GI laser inscription, the image of laser inscription, to use that for matching purpose, for verification purpose. So I'm going to explain to you how it works and what's our plan. We know most diamonds come to GI for grading will get an inscription on the girdle with GIA, the logo, and the report number. This can be easily applied to all diamonds. It is a settled service, and we can easily inscribe every single diamond. And the image of the laser inscription is taken automatically, immediately after inscription. So what I picture show here is a diamond on the inside of the machine getting inscribed. Immediately after inscription, the image will be taken. So there's no additional step, no additional cost. We will get an image of the laser inscription. Now this is what the inscription looks like, right? This is a diamond girdle, and the girdle has some small faceted junctions here, and with the GI report number inscribed by laser. It's a GI logo and have a 10-digit report number. Now, I want to explain this one very carefully. Is the inscription in combination with the girdle features itself is a fingerprint of the diamond. What I'm emphasizing is the inscription plus the girdle features. For example, where there's a facet junction is kind of across the A a little bit and has another facet junction between 3 and 6. And another facet junction right across the 6. And also the relationship with this outline of the girdle. In the worst case, the GI laser inscription, identical inscription could be duplicated by some really smart people, but it is never possible to duplicate this laser inscription with the relation of the girdle. Because this girdle facet is randomly created. When GI laser inscription is added to the girdle, this is a unique feature. It cannot be duplicated. So now we have a fingerprint feature of a diamond, and now we can share this image with our client in multiple ways. The easiest way is just to share the image using GI's report check. So, many of our clients, they just go to GI website, use the report check to see the grades. Now, from there, we can easily share this image. Now, the client has this image or this inscription. Again, a fingerprint of that diamond. When the client has a diamond in the hand, they want to confirm that's a true diamond or a substitutional diamond. We will supply this small device for the client to take another image of the laser inscription. This is just one of a few possible portable device to take laser inscription image on the girdle. This is a very small device. It's about 20 centimeters, 18 times 18 and 12 centimeters. A very small device. It's a portable. It's less than 1.5 kilograms in weight, so it's light to carry around, and it's very cost effective. I cannot tell you exactly how much it is, but it's not expensive. It is a very affordable price. Now, this device have a Wi-Fi built in, so the image can be viewed from its screen. The diamond is here, and this is a lens. You see the image, very easy to see the inscription. And the image can also be easily connected to any smartphone through Wi-Fi. It's very easy. So you can get this image to your cell phone. Now, we have two images. First image is shared by GIA through a report check or any other ways of the diamond. And then another image of the diamond collected by the client. So it's very easy to put these two images together to compare to see if they are the same. So now we have two images. You see, have a 9 cross a 5, have a 9 cross a 5. Well, first of all, of course, the numbers should be identical. And then you have another 9 cross an I here, cross an I here. So it's very, very easy. Everybody should be easily to tell if the two images are the same or not the same. If they are not the same, obviously the diamond is substitutional, is a fake one. And if the same, it's very safe to say, yes, that's the real diamond. Again, it's not possible to duplicate all the features using another diamond. So this method is a very reliable, easy to use, not much explanation, and a very cost-effective technology for diamond verification. And it will be very helpful for the trade. So this is our plan. We're going to, for the phase 1 implementation, we're going to use a visual matching. Basically, GI is going to share the image with you and also going to distribute this device, or you can use your own device. You can use your microscope or any your device. The client can just visually match it. The phase 2, that is going to be launched in the early 2021. So early next year, it will be launched. And the for phase 2, we will build up apps for your smartphone, and the image will be transferred to your smartphone, and everything will be automated to tell you the diamond is a real one, the match to the report or not. So we are trying to launch this second phase, probably at the middle of next year, 2021. So we are very excited. We find a very easy and effective verification method, and we're going to launch it in 2021. Hope this is going to help the market, help our help the market to protect the interest of our consumers, and to avoid, or at least to some degree, to stop this is a substitution or this is a counterfeit diamonds in the market. I know it is a big issue in Asia market. So this is the first part of my presentation about GI's diamond verification service. And now I'm going to jump to the second part. So GI's grading of lab-grown diamonds. It is very recent, and the GI decided to grade lab-grown diamonds, use the identical terms for natural diamonds. It's a big step. But you see here, and GI's CEO and President Susan Jack said, and for these lab-grown diamonds, for the consumers, some of the young generation consumers, they may like it. They consider it as an option. So these consumers also, they too deserve our protection. And on August 11th, GI made an announcement, and actually the service started from the day before yesterday. We just started the service 2 days ago. So it's a good time for me to explain to you what we're really going to do with revised service. We know a lot of lab-grown diamonds are produced all over the world by HPHT technology, by CVD technology, and with the improved quality, and with the cost keep decreasing, and get a pretty affordable an option for jewelry industry. Well, before I talk about GI's grading policy, let me give you a kind of a quick review of the history of lab-grown diamonds. Actually, the lab-grown diamonds, the first man-made diamond was actually used the CVD technology in 1952. That's almost 70 years ago. And it was in 1954, the first small graded diamond was created using HPHT technology by GE company in the United States. Of course, in 1953, the Swiss company claimed they also grow HPHT diamond. But it is only until 1970 that GE produced the first gem quality diamond using HPHT technology. That is experimental gem quality. It is not for commercial purpose because technology is still not good enough then. But GE succeeded in 1970 to produce first German quality diamond using HPHT technology. That's exactly 50 years ago. Now, after quite a long time, there are a lot of development in Russia, in De Beers in South Africa and England, and also by Sumitomo in Japan. They experimentally can produce gem quality diamond using HPHT technology, the yellow color or even colorless. That's the 1990s. The first commercialization of HPHT lab-grown diamonds happened in 2002 by a company called Gemsys in Florida, United States. But it was not very successful, and they closed a few years later. That's 2002. Well, in 2014, a company in Russia called the New Diamond Technology, they made a big step in diamond synthesis in laboratory. They can produce a very large diamond. For example, in 2014, they produced a 5 carat, over 5 carat colorless HPHT synthetic diamond after cutting. In 2015, they updated their record to over 10 carat. So they really pushed the HPHT lab-grown diamond technology a big step forward. So this is basically HPHT technology. Actually, in 2016, the CVD diamond technology can also produce very high quality gem diamond. The first CVD gem diamond was introduced, we tested in 2003. About 10 years later, now 2016, we see a real gem quality using CVD technology. And meanwhile, in the same time, 2016, HPHT technology will be able to create a diamond after cutting up to 15 carat. But in the same time, 2017, a lot of many diamonds were produced using HPHT technology in China. That created a lot of stories, a lot of concerns to our trade. So I'm just trying to give you a review of the history of diamond growth for our jewelry industry. Well, it is a very recent 2020 this year. We test these two biggest HPHT lab-grown diamonds in New York lab. This crystal one is 109.81 carat, another is 115.81 carat. Actually, this 109 carat stone was got the World Guinness record. It's the largest lab-grown diamond, a single crystal by now, and the GI acted as a witness for this. So I can just want to show you the huge progress of this technology, and it took over 70 years of development to reach where we are here today. Well, for HPHT lab-grown diamonds and also the CVD lab-grown diamonds, there are as-grown diamond and also the post-growth treatment. A lot of these stones will be processed or being treated to improve their colors. That's also another important factor we in the jewelry trade, the jewelry industry, we need to know. So this diagram just to show you, what HPHT technology can produce the color directly, and also the color can be introduced with the post-growth treatment. Now, same treatment can also be applied to CVD lab-grown diamonds, or called synthetic diamond. Most of CVD diamond in the trade are treated to improve the color because they want to grow crystal faster. So as grown CVD diamond could show this type of colors, many of them with a little bit of yellow color or with a brown color, and sometimes a pinkish. But most of them, before getting to the trade, will be treated by HPHT annealing or by multiple treatment to introduce a blue-green color, and very often to introduce pink color. So it is an important thing for us to remember a lab-grown diamond could be treated to improve the color. So that I basically give you a review of the history of lab-grown diamond, the technology development over the last 70 years. And this diamond is really impressive. We tested in New York lab. It's a 3.02 carat HPHT lab grown, and it is treated to vivid pink color. And if you look at it carefully, I think you probably get the feeling of looking at a ruby. So I get that feeling, and it's really impressive for a lab-grown diamond can be treated to produce the color. It's so good that you may not be able to get it from natural. So that create a wonderful product for our industry and create a great option for consumers. Now, how GI is going to report this type of diamond? Again, I just want to remind you, in 1970, the first gem quality diamond was produced experimentally by GE company. Well, the first lab-grown diamond report was issued by GI in 1971. Just a year later, GI started the service. So if I highlight a little bit, we call it synthetic diamond then. This is a term with a lot of discussions, right? Synthetic, this word. Somebody likes it, somebody doesn't. And in 1971, we give a clear, identical grading terms as natural diamond. For example, here's a VS1 clarity and J color. That's 1971. And the picture could be included. Now, there are not many lab-grown diamonds at that time until 2008. GI started the real, then we call it synthetic diamond grading diamond report. And we clearly use this yellow color to separate a natural diamond report from a lab-grown diamond report, to put a yellow color on the report and on the cover. Now, if you look at the report itself, we say it is laboratory grown and identification. very important thing is we don't use the identical terminology as with natural diamond grading. So that's the change from 2071 to the 2008. In this report, we don't give a specific letter color grading, which is called colorless. That's an EF. We give a range for colorless. Same thing for clarity. We don't say a specific grade, we just say very slightly included. It could be VS1, could be VS2. So we don't give it a specific grade. That's 2008. In 2014, another report in style, getting close to natural diamond report. But if you look at the details, we still say colorless. We don't give a specific color grade. And the same thing for clarity, we say slightly included is not a SI1, or we don't say SI2. And we put a comment to say it's a man-made diamond and then produced in a laboratory. So that's 2014 report. Now in 2019, just last year, GI make the comment part almost identical to natural diamond. But if you look at the details, it's the same thing. We don't give specific color grade, and we don't give a specific clarity grade either. So this is just last year. Now, very, very recently, just as what I just mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, now GI just launched is a brand new service for lab-grown diamond, started 2 days ago. Now, first, the very important thing is I want to emphasize this service is redesigned and the report is a digital only report. There's no hard copy, there's no paper report from GIA. You can go to your account to download a PDF file of that report. It's a digital, and you can share the PDF file with your client. But it's a digital. And now we use a 4 Cs assessment. The terminology will be identical to natural diamond grading report. And that's for including color, is a letter, and a clarity. And of course, we include in our website, we have a customer landing page and give a lot of education, background information about laboratory grown diamonds. So here's an example. In this digital report, you will see a specific color, for example, we say E color, and clarity, we say VS1, and with a comment. And we will actually separate HPHT synthetic from CVD synthetic. And I just want to, this is not need to be updated. GI new report, lab-grown diamond, I want to emphasize, will separate HPHT lab-grown from CVD lab-grown diamonds, and also working to disclose the post-growth treatment. If the stone is just as grown, is not treated, we will not mention any post-growth treatment. So that will be disclosed if it is treated. As you see here, the E color. So with that, I'm going to say, just want to end this kind of a second part of my talk with our CEO and President Susan Jackson's word. It's in this last 70 years of lab-grown diamonds, it is not a change of mind of GIA. It is evolution, with a technology evolution, and we follow that accordingly with our grading service. With that, I want to thank you all very much for your attention to my presentation. I basically covered the 2 topics and about the diamond verification, and I'm excited about that service. And also I'm excited about the new service of GI's grading report for lab-grown diamonds. We'll grade use identical terms for colorless, near colorless, white diamonds, and also we're just doing the same service for fancy colored lab-grown diamonds. Again, thank you all very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Wang, for great information and about the update on GIA's laboratory services. We received some questions. Let me see. Which one should we go with the first part first about the verification? About the laser inscription, this is from Diamond Company in Korea. The question is it possible just to get the photo of the inscriptions on the old diamond? They're already graded?
Depends on how old. And we have a lot of images saved already for many diamonds graded early days. But I will not guarantee you if a diamond is graded 10 years ago, we have the image. But we have a lot of old images. We will start collecting images for all stones far before, at least a couple months before GI formally launched the service.
Oh, so all the image. So what about the size restrictions, on the diamond size restrictions?
Technically, there's no size restrictions. Any diamond, once inscribed, there will be image saved, and we will be able to share that image with our client, or share even with the public. Depends on the policy then. And any diamond, almost any diamond, let's say 15-point diamond or 100-carat diamond, they all can be inscribed. So size basically is not a problem. The cut, the shape is not a problem either.
Okay, couldn't hear you, the last part, sorry. Can you hear the answer? Can you hear Dr. Wang's answer? I don't hear his reply. Can you hear me, Dr. Wang?
Oh, so you wanted me to repeat my answer?
Yes, please. It was somehow it was
okay,
muted.
So
Yes.
so regarding the sizes, I don't think there are any size restrictions because a diamond, a very small diamond like a 10, 15 point, we can inscribe it very easily. And if a diamond up to 100 carat, there's no problem to inscribe them either. So what I'm saying is there's no size concern for laser inscription technology.
So as you said, the diamonds were graded recently, so the companies can get the photo of the inscriptions. So, and then, okay, here's the question. Probably, what about the service charge? Is there going to be extra charge for that?
I don't know, actually. And if it's up to me, I will make it free. I assume, don't take me like this language officially. I think the image could be shared for free. So let's say you have a diamond graded, or whoever has a diamond with a report. I think it's technically possible to go to GI website to do report check, and the image will be shared. I assume, but it's not official language of GI, I assume the image could be shared for free. There will be no charge for it. But let's wait for the official language, what the GI is going to do.
Yes, so we have to wait till the next year when the service starts.
Okay. Early, I think it will be February next year.
Yes.
We'll start the service.
Thank you for that. And then, one more question is about the laser inscription part, the verification. The inscription viewer, and the size that you gave is the size of the video, the viewer, the monitor, not the whole machine size.
No, it's a whole machine size,
Oh,
about 20 centimeters, the biggest dimension is about 20 centimeters.
Okay, then what's the size of the monitor?
I don't know exactly. I would say that's probably 7, 8 centimeters, maybe 10 centimeters.
Oh, I see. So then what kind of a magnification does it have?
I don't know exact number, but it's a very high magnification. I would assume it is about 60 to 100 times magnification, because the laser inscription is very small. But you can see in the screen about 10 centimeters, you can see a very large image. So I would assume it's probably close to 100 times magnification.
Very high magnification, very nice. One more question about the, you mentioned about the automated matching that will be launched next year. Could you explain a little bit more detail about that?
Okay, so let me give you an idea how to do that. Let's say you have a diamond. The diamond has GI laser inscription on it, right? So you have a device, take a picture of that inscription. So now we know the report number of the diamond, right? Because the inscription is a report number. Once that information is available in these apps, you load this image to the apps. The apps will be able to read this report number. And then once the report number is available, it can go to GI database to download the GI image with the same report number. So now in the apps, there's 2 images, and the computer can do, the artificial intelligence. They can do an automatic calculation to see these 2 images are identical or not. And there are a lot of development in the back we are doing, but there are a lot of features we can use to compare these 2 images automatically to see if they match. If they match well, we don't see this, right? We just press a button, but the computer is doing all of the calculations and then tell you, yes, that's the same diamond. That'll be very reliable conclusion, or say, no, they are not the same diamond. So we don't see it, but I assume that will be a very quick process. As soon as you load an image of a diamond, then everything else is computer will take care of it automatically and give you a conclusion.
Okay, so it's available. This service is available for everybody, even to the trade and to the consumers.
I don't know exactly. I'm talking about my presentation. Basically, is from technical viewpoint, how GI is going to implement for business as a business viewpoint. I don't know. There's probably some legal requirement. If I know how, who we can share, and that's not. I cannot comment much. But I can, from technical viewpoint, it can let everybody do it. But I think next year, I think GI will set up the business model and how to do it. What I'm saying in terms of fee, because Pierce asked for the fee, what I'm saying is probably fine for GI to share the image for free for visual matching. But for automatic matching, if there's a very simple, very small fee or not, I don't know. But it's a 2 service. Visual match and automatic match could be slightly different. Again, I'm not the person to make comment about the business decisions, and the GI is going to make it.
Okay, great. Anyway, thank you. So next question, I have a few questions about the laboratory-grown diamonds. One question is, does the grading time for the laboratory-grown diamond is longer than the grading natural diamonds?
No, it shouldn't.
But for the same quality, same size?
It should be the same, a few days.
Should be the same, few days?
Yeah.
Same?
Yeah.
Same. Anyway, then another question is, they want to know the logics behind the pricing of the grading fee compared to the natural ones, because the price of the diamonds are a lot lower than the natural.
Yeah, I understand that concern. And my understanding is the fee structure is the same as for natural diamond grading. So my understanding is that we do exactly same work for the lab-grown diamond as with a natural diamond. So same service, same fee. And also, I think another big point is GIA cannot discriminate natural diamond from synthetic from lab-grown diamonds. So both are diamonds, and we cannot discriminate. So we should apply the same fee. I think that's another point to see this is a fee structure.
I think this question came with the reason he's asking because it's a digital only, no paper is involved.
Well, the paper itself doesn't cost almost anything. The paper is probably $1, maybe less. I don't know, but that shouldn't be a big deal. But to generate a digital report, we need a lot of I don't know, computer IT infrastructure in the back to support this. And I think the good thing is the forever, never worry about the report get lost. You can download your PDF file anytime.
Okay, another question is about the volume of grading of lab-grown diamonds at GIA. Is it really increasing compared to like year before? Like a year to year, if you do the comparison year to year, what kind of percentages?
Well, it's very hard for me to comment on that. What I can tell you is the total percentage of lab-grown diamonds in GIA lab for the service is very small, and vast majority of service is focused on natural diamond. With this new service, again, it is launched 2 days ago. I'm very curious to see how it goes, how intake and the market reacts to this new service, as many people are curious too. So I'm waiting and to see how the intake is going to go in GIA laboratories.
Okay. This question is not really the topic subject that you handled, but he'd like to know.
Okay.
It's about Lightbox, lab-grown diamonds by De Beers.
Yeah.
Are they all produced in the UK?
Well, I'm not sure, but I can guess from the knowledge I have. I think, if not all, but a good amount of the current Lightbox diamonds, at least a good amount of them are produced in UK. They have a factory set up in United States.
Yes.
And in Portland. I think they are just about to virtually open the lab, the factory in Oregon. So then I would expect a lot of CVD diamond will be produced in the United States by the De Beers company.
By De Beers. Right. So yeah, that was this company is asking you what do you expect from that production. So even though it's during the COVID time, so they're already almost ready to produce lab-grown diamonds.
They are ready. I think they are very close to officially open the facility, because I was told they will invite me to attend their virtual open ceremony.
Okay, great. Good to know. And then are they planning to do all kinds of colors?
Well, I would say yes. We tested quite a lot of stones from Lightbox. They have, colorless, blue, pink, the standard product colors. Some of them obviously is treated to introduce the fancy colors.
Okay, all right, great. One more question. This is, again, it's not really you didn't cover, but this is about the artificial intelligence grading on clarity that GIA is going to do it soon, because it was announced a few weeks ago. So the audience is curious to know when GIA is planning to start the service.
Well, and it's still in the development phase, and I think outside will not be able to tell when GIA actually implement that technology and to what degree that technology will be implemented. I think the transition will be a smooth process. Artificial intelligence is AI technology has been progressing very rapidly this year. Has showed a lot of potentials. Probably pretty soon we will be able to have autonomous car driving, and we don't need a driver anymore. So that's not a dream. Same thing, this technology is going to impact our jewelry industry for diamond grading, and it's going to improve a lot of our efficiency, and more importantly, increase our accuracy and consistency. It is not an easy thing because diamond grading overall is an art. It is not a science, but we are converting art to a science. So there's a lot of challenges, but I think we are doing pretty good. As you know, in the early days, the diamond color is graded by graders, by gemologists, but now we are very successfully to use instruments to grade the diamond color. The same thing for clarity. It could be more challenging than color, but eventually I'm optimistic, and we will be able to use more and more artificial intelligence to help our diamond grading service. I think it's a very good thing for the trade because eventually it will be better result, maybe even with a better cost, better price.
Wow, great. So I think this topic, artificial intelligence grading, will be your next year's topic for this for this conference.
I hope so. If you guys can still invite me to attend, I hope so.
Of course, you are always invited. Anyway, just to let you know, 210 participants participated in Korea, and about 50 audiences joined for your talk from other countries. So there's quite a lot of participants for your talk. Thank you so much, and thank you again, Ui, for staying up so late and to give us great information about GIAs.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Songhai, and I also want to thank Dr. Lee for helping me a lot in getting myself prepared and ready for this presentation. Thank you all for attending this talk.
Thank you. You could hear me, right?
I can hear you. A little light, but I can hear you, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, now we'll start the second session. Welcome everyone back to 2020 Seoul International Jewelry Conference. And our second session will be delivered by Mr. Martin Rappaport, the chairman of the Rappaport Group, founder of the Rappaport Diamond Report and the RapNet Online Diamond Trading Network. I don't think I have to do any more introduction for Mr. Rappaport. Then he will talk to you about on the COVID-19 opportunities and challenges. And I asked Mr. Rappaport to speak slowly so that our translators can catch up. So please, okay, promise. All right? Okay, so floor is yours, Martin. Cannot hear him. Martin.
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hello? All right. Thank you, Sunghae. Thank you for everyone organizing this. And thank you for all the people listening in. I will try to speak very slowly today and share a few ideas with you. The translators, thank you. Please follow my words because I have changed many of the slides. So just relax, let's have some fun, and let's talk about some of the important ideas in the diamond and jewelry industry. First of all, I want to say a few words about values. Now, we are moving to a world of values, which means that the purpose of a company can no longer be just make money. The world now is that you must have a framework of values, and within those values, you make money. The issue is not just things like blood diamonds or things like money laundering. We are now in a new world where companies are expected to be socially responsible. Certainly in the jewelry industry, where we are selling emotional value, the idea of having values is fundamentally important as new generations of consumers who are more socially conscious enter the marketplace. We'll talk about Corona, how it's impacted the world, but we must understand the foundation upon which we stand even before Corona. And that is a shift in social values and how people want to buy. We know people wanted to buy using more internet, but COVID has now exploded this idea of digitalization of business. Not just diamonds and jewelry, everything from how we work at home, from how we treat our children. Everything is changed by coronavirus, but it's good to understand upon which we stand. And the first point I'm going to make is we stand on our values. Rappaport stands on the values of ethical, transparent, be open, competition, encourage competition, efficient markets. So those are our values, and within those values, we make money, we do business. Everyone can have their own values, but those values should then be the foundation of your business. They should be the framework of your business. Look, we are in incredibly changing times. We are seeing more change in this year than we have seen in decades, maybe in a century. And when you have such change, such turbulence, such waves, you must have solid values that you have like a North Star to keep you on track. The Rappaport Group is involved in 4 primary areas of activity. Information, like the price list, the website, RapNet, electronic trading network with approximately $6.5 billion of diamonds listed every day, auctions and trading services, and quality control and grading services. So these are the things that we do within the context of our transparency and competition and ethical and efficient values. Okay, what's happening with COVID-19? What are we facing? Is it all over? Will we return to the way things were? The answer to all those things is we are now going into a different world, a completely different world. Unfortunately, the cases and the deaths globally are very, very heavy and disturbing. We are not out of the woods yet. The situation hopefully will not get worse, but it doesn't look to be getting over very soon. Now, the impact of Corona, it's different types of things happening to us. First of all, physically, subconsciously, all of us are feeling this fear. Now, we must understand that perhaps in Korea, the way in which coronavirus is impacting is not so strong. But in America, it's strong. In India, it's strong. In China, it's coming out, but it's still strong. So the first thing is, when we think about corona, we think about our physical health. We think about our danger to our physical bodies. And this creates a subconscious fear. We don't even are aware of it sometimes. Sometimes you see riots in the United States. You see demonstrations. You see things happening because underneath we are having this insecurity, this anger about what's happening to us and our physical fear. The economic impacts are huge. Everything about coronavirus is changing everything about our economy. On one hand, we have a complete disruption in the supply chains. For 4 months, people in India did not manufacture diamonds. India manufactures about 93% of the world's diamonds, and the factories were closed. Now, there's good sides to this, but they were closed. It stopped. And then the stores couldn't open. So the demand side was also stopped. It's as if the whole world was stopped. The world stopped turning almost from an economic perspective. And then governments flooded the markets, the financial markets, with liquidity. So we have a very strange new economic environment with an important stoppage of what happened. Socially, as human beings want to communicate, we've also had some changes. We're no longer socializing as groups and communities, and instead we're becoming more individualized. And of course, there's great political change. Now, the idea of fear and physical, I've explained that, but let's think about this idea of lockdowns and isolation. And what we're seeing also are contradictions in what's happening to us. Contradictions. On one hand, we have to isolate. So we go away from our friends and our others and our restaurants and our bars and our parties and our weddings. We go away from that. So we're away from people. On the other hand, we are intensely with our families. Parents are living with their children for the first time. Husbands and wives are now spending tremendous amounts of time together that never happened before. So on one hand, we're away, and the other hand, we're together. And so the bonding that we see as people has become extremely intense. And this may have an impact on jewelry demand, as gifting replaces travel. And emotional bonds become more important and clearer. So there's a world of change happening that's contradictory. Look at the economics of this. It's crazy. On one hand, we see a huge amount of money coming into the world economy. Stock markets are crazy high, huge, boom, boom, boom. At the same time, we have a lot of people with less money. Significant unemployment that we haven't seen in decades. These differences, these changes, these contradictions are creating a very difficult world. We must understand that. It's so much uncertainty because you see things that are very different. For example, here, Wall Street is one way and Main Street is another. A tremendous contradiction in what we see, how we will sell, how we will buy, who we will do business with, who our customers will be for luxury products. There's a schism, a break in what was going on. It doesn't mean that there are not opportunities. There are opportunities now, maybe even more than before. But there are different opportunities in a confused and contradictory environment. So here's the example, right? What do I mean when I say Wall Street one way, Main Street another? Here's simple. We see unemployment gone to 13 million from 5.8. So unemployment shooted up. It's come down, but it's still very high. It's more than double. And at the same time, look at the stock market. Zooming upwards, at the same time that unemployment increases. How can you have an increase in unemployment and an increase in the stock market? Only because governments, in their attempt to solve these economic challenges of the corona have flushed money, so much money into the market. Another factor here is globalization. Before, the whole world was one market. So you could manufacture in China, and 2 weeks later, you had it in your store in the United States or in Korea. But now the supply chains have changed, and not just the trade war, say, between the United States and China, or even now between India and China, not just the political friction, but the logistics of how people travel and how people buy. So everything is going local. And so the idea of globalization and even global wealth is shifted. So our world has been changed by coronavirus in fundamental ways. It's not like a light dusting. It's an earthquake from the basis and the bottom of our business. Now, if we look at what's happening, and I guess I'll show you this slide, so what happened? How did we get here? What's going on in the diamond industry? So first of all, demand went down because the stores were closed. Everything, unemployment, uncertainty, stores. Supply went down because the dealers were closed and the factories were closed. So we had this drop in demand, drop in supply. By the way, it helped prices because there weren't too much goods. Now demand's starting to increase. And now supply is increasing as the factories start opening up and the stores open up. So now the question is going to be, what's going to happen to diamond prices? And so the answer is it depends on demand. If the factories produce more goods than there is demand for, prices will go down. On the other hand, we might see a situation where prices will go up because of two reasons. One is demand will increase. There might be this movement toward luxury jewelry. And I'll explain some other factors related to marketing. And also, I think that there might be more profitability in the diamond industry. And if there's profitability in the diamond industry, people can spend more money on demand and they can find new ways to sell new customers. Now, let me stop for a second here. Translators, are you okay? Am I talking too fast? Is everybody comfortable here? How are we doing? Anybody want to say anything here? Sung Hae, are we okay?
It's pretty okay.
Are we okay, Sung Hae? Everything all right? Okay. Now, we need to understand also what happens, and I'll show this slide again, but we saw this drop in demand, and look at what happened in the first half of the year of 2020 against 2019. And you'll see later, I'll show you that in fact, we had problems even before we went into the coronavirus. But in the impact of coronavirus, mining companies, 53% less sales. Indian polished exports, 54% less. Makes sense. Less mining companies, less rough importing, less polished exporting. And India is 93% of the world production. Polished imports into China were 60% less in that first half. And, so you say, well, China's over, but the United States only started experiencing this in March, April. So I would expect that the decline in sales that you saw in China will continue to America. So America will also show a great decline as we talk about maybe the second and third quarter of 2020. And large retailers had 37% drop. And I'm talking about companies like Chow Tai Fook or Signet, etc. So we have seen a real slowdown, not even a question. And you got to understand also that when you talk about the diamond business, if the stores sell 37% less, they may be buying 100% less because they have inventory to sell. What is a good thing is that coronavirus, because of the stop in production, is clearing out inventories, which is supporting prices. Theoretically, there's less goods around. We used to list almost $6.9 billion on RapNet. Now we're at 6.5. And I think that basically in the markets, we are seeing a lot less goods. I mean, it's certainly the goods that are in demand. And now this graph shows you an interesting story, because we can see the blue line for 2019, those diamond sales. And as you can see, things were not so good in September also. Last year, there were problems last year. But we can now see this orange thing going a little bit up, down, and up. That's what I'm saying to you. The diamond markets went down, and then the diamond markets are starting to pick up again. Hopefully, we will see a better market in the second half, now we're already in the fourth quarter of 2020, but don't count on it being too hot or too high. Shortages are the key factors that are supporting diamond prices. Now, the increase of supply we just showed you, but let's think about this. Will prices be stable? What's going to happen to diamond prices? So the first thing is that diamond prices will be stable. We have seen increasing prices because of shortages of supply. And now the question is going to be, what will the increase in demand be like? The United States is 50%, maybe even more now, of global diamond jewelry demand. So what's going to happen this Christmas? How much will they buy? And how much will the supply be? Will there be a balance between supply and demand? Another issue is, and we'll talk about this, coronavirus has brought us a wonderful opportunity, more than one. But one of them is that rough prices went down. I showed you a few moments ago, right? Rough prices was 53% in the value, but rough prices have come down significantly, maybe 20%, 10%, 20%. That means there's room to make money. So if we don't drop the polished prices, if there's shortages, and rough prices are cheaper, people can make money. And if people can make money, they can market. When I say people, I mean diamond manufacturers and diamond dealers. So there's an opportunity to make profit in our industry. And if you're making profit, that's good. On the other hand, if you drop the polished prices because the rough is cheaper, then the industry doesn't make money and prices come down. So it's really up to the diamond and jewelry industry not to be commoditized flippers. Because if the manufacturers flip diamonds because they are under financial pressure because of banks, etc., then it's like making money, like flipping hamburgers at McDonald's. There's no money. But if there's no pressure on the diamond manufacturers to buy rough, because they stopped. If there's no pressure to pay banks back, because in India now they say that they don't have to pay the banks back right now, then the industry can breathe. They can take it easy. They don't have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and manufacturing, which means supply can be kept reasonable in relationship to demand. And if that happens, then we are in an industry that makes profits. And so profits are important because it allows for a gap and it allows for prices to stabilize. Now, these are uncertain times, and now more than ever, people need to see prices. Oh, there was big protests against Rappaport dropping prices. I feel sorry for people, really. I feel very bad for diamond manufacturers who confronted this coronavirus, and we dropped prices 7% when the stock markets were down 35%. You know, I feel sorry and I feel bad, but the bottom line is we need to reflect reality. So where are diamond prices? How can you track diamond prices? What kind of diamond price information is out there? Now, we have basically the Rappaport price list, which is a benchmark price. It's a price that everybody discounts from. But what are the discounts? How high are they? What's going on? And so we now have the RapNet price list, which is based not on my opinion or a benchmark price, but it's the actual prices of diamonds offered for sale in the market. So with 1.2 million diamonds listed every day at $5.6 billion, $6.5 billion, you know, we can actually give you that information. And so this is an example. The Rappaport price is D flawless, $18,500. RapNet says to you the average price of a D flawless is $14,930.19 below. And the best price for a D-Flawless is 12,006 at 32 below. So what we're doing now is we're pushing out more diamond price information, including showing you the interdealer discounts. Now make sure you understand that these discounts reflect cash dealer prices. And so if you're going to be a retailer and you're going to say, well, I need it on memo, I need it on credit, I need service, I need to return it, don't expect to get cash dealer prices. Because anybody that is servicing you in the industry is going to have costs involved with that. And so you need to understand something. You're not going to make money in the diamond business by screwing your supplier, by squeezing everybody. We're going to make money in the diamond business by adding value, by taking a diamond and doing something more with it so that it's worth more, so that we can capture that value. And I think that what we're seeing now in terms of how to make profit, if this industry makes profit, we will grow, we will prosper. If this industry does not make profit, then diamonds will go down the toilet. Say that again, slowly, clearly. If this industry makes profit, we will grow, we will prosper, we will make money for mining companies, we will make money for poor people in Africa. We will succeed. If the diamond industry does not make money, diamonds will go down the toilet. That's what I think. So what is it? What is it with these profits? So you have to understand where we came from. Before Corona, there was no profit in this industry. Everybody was squeezing everybody. Why were there no profits? Because rough prices were too high. And there was too much production, even though rough prices were too high. And even though the polished diamonds that came out of rough was worth less than the rough, we still produced too much goods and increased the supply. And there was no generic marketing. It was like we were riding off of last year's momentum, over 10 years ago momentum. No marketing means no profits. Everybody, please understand that. And so the diamond industry was doing lousy. This is 2019. Rough sales were down 23.3%. Polished sales were down 15.5%. My friends, this is before Corona. This is going into 2020. Not a good situation. And this difference, the blue line was rough, the orange line was polished. So look at that gap. Ridiculous. You had to be crazy to manufacture diamonds. So why did they? And this is what I was showing you, the mining companies and all this stuff now. So why did they manufacture diamonds if the rough was too expensive? What was our past situation that we now need to get rid of because of the coronavirus? First of all, people have high bank loans, particularly in India and particularly among manufacturers. And rough costs were high. And the inventory, we had to keep huge inventory all the time. Because the jewelers said, I don't want to buy for cash, send it to me on memo. And polished prices were low because no marketing, no demand. But the companies needed to keep running. They needed to keep the business going. So if you were a diamond manufacturer and rough prices were high, you still bought the rough because you needed to be in a cycle where you would pay for the rough. You would pay the bank back. And if you stopped, your business went bankrupt. You were in a situation where you simply had to keep manufacturing, to keep the business, to keep the employees, to keep the credit lines. If you stopped buying rough, the banks would say, give me back your money. So you were in the situation where you had to keep running. This is what it looks like, or it looked like. You're like a mouse running on a treadmill. Get the money for the banks. Get the money for the rough. Get the money for the inventory. Sell the polished. Who knows if you're going to make profit? You weren't based in a profitable business. Now look at that mouse. Do you know how hard it is to get off a treadmill? It's almost impossible to get off a treadmill. If you stop, the treadmill goes and you fall on your head. So what are we going to do? How do we get out of it? And here, coronavirus stopped the treadmill. It's the greatest gift to the diamond industry. It got people to the point where they had to stop buying rough. They had to stop manufacturing. They still don't have to pay back their debt. So that resulted in a situation where for the first time in a long time, the diamond industry could breathe. They could stop. They could actually think about making money. At the same time, reduced supply supported the price level. So prices went down and then they came back up again. So manufacturers can get off the treadmill. And if manufacturers get off the treadmill, what that means is that the dealers can make money too, because manufacturers don't have to squeeze the last dollar. So only rough quantity and price that enables profits. There's an opportunity now for this diamond industry to become somewhat normal. Now, if people are idiots, specifically, if manufacturers are, I've heard idiots, they kill themselves, they pay too much for the rough again, maybe they'll go bankrupt. Maybe Corona will clear them out. But if they're smart and they don't buy too much rough and they don't pay prices for rough that's more than the polished, then the industry can return to a new equilibrium, a new stability, a new world of diamond profits. So in the past, it was lousy, horrible. But as we go to the Corona future, even with Corona, there's profit opportunities because of lower costs. There's lower rough prices, lower interest rates, and better marketing that allows us to sell emotional value. Now I'm going to show you that one of the good things is this thing called the Natural Diamond Council, www.naturaldiamonds.com. And this Natural Diamond Council is being supported by the mining companies who have finally, and maybe because of Corona, woken up to the reality that they have to market diamonds. Very important. And I want to show you a little bit about how these people are thinking. Because remember, you're not going to get rich by lowering your costs, by squeezing your suppliers. That is not the way you as individuals will get rich, and it's not the way that the diamond industry will be successful. You will get rich by adding value, and particularly adding emotional value to diamonds. So what are these guys doing at this Natural Diamond Council? And actually, the first time I think that these mining companies are doing something realistically good. So I'm going to play this. It's only 30 seconds.
True connection changes you. It inspires you to dare greatly, to love fearlessly, to soar. Our moments, our stories, they belong to us for moments like no other.
I'm playing it again. It's only 30 seconds. Look at it.
True connection changes you. It inspires you to dare greatly, to love fearlessly, to soar. Our moments, our stories, they belong to us for moments like no other.
So what's going on here? Are these people selling diamonds at the cheapest price? Are they selling diamonds? What are these people selling? Is there an emotional value to diamonds? Now, what they're saying is that diamonds can attract a new generation of buyers by being stylish, by following trends. Look at this. This is a new trend of multiple necklaces. And you're going to see it among movie stars, and you're going to see it. And this isn't created necessarily by the Natural Diamond Council. This is a trend of multi-layered necklaces. This is a trend of horizontally set rings. Now, this means that there's new and interesting and different things happening. And there's a ride to get onto. And so you guys are listening to me today, you jewelers. Start thinking new and different. And start thinking about how you can add value to diamonds. So marketing is the path to profits. Trends in fashion for a new generation of consumers. Are you new and exciting? Your stores, your people, your manufacturers, what are you doing with those diamonds? How are you adding value? Who needs you? Those are the key questions about profitability and the future. Yes, coronavirus, no coronavirus. To a certain extent, it doesn't make a difference. Are you a commodity flipper or are you an added value merchant? That's the bottom line for your bottom line. Now, there's stuff happening around us. We don't have time. I got to shut this down. But there's a new type of consumer who's socially responsible. New customers with new values. There's a new world coming out of this coronavirus. Social responsibility is important. New digital jewelry presentations. Everything and everyone is going digital. If you have jewelry but you don't have good images of it, you can't sell it. There's new ways to buy and sell. But to buy these trading networks, these e-commerce platforms, this connectivity with diamond manufacturers and suppliers. And there's a new importance of brands because in a world where people are buying things online, they want additional information, not just about what is the product, but who is the product, who is selling it, what are the values of the person, what's the reliability of that person. So it's not just brands in terms of adding value, it's brands as a necessity to be able to do business. You must brand yourselves. People have to know who you are and they have to know your values. So we're in a world of great change, great challenge, and great opportunity. There's waves, like in the ocean, waves. And these waves are not necessarily just on the beach. They're up and down and back and forth. And you need to think about what are you going to do with all this uncertainty and change. The fundamental thing you need to do is understand and create diamond desire, like that video that I showed you. The idea of trends and the idea of fashion, the idea of style. I mean, it's what does your customer really want? What are they really looking for? And they want an emotional gift that makes a statement about themselves, about their values. You have to know how you add added value. What are you doing to make those diamonds more valuable as they move down the distribution pipeline? Define your brand, and your brand is a promise to your customer. What is your promise to the customer? Is that you're going to always keep good value? Is it that you'll have reasonable prices? Is it that you'll have good design? Is it that you have good style? Is it that you will know what the new and interesting things are? Is it that you have good social responsibility? Whatever it is, define yourself, define your brand, and define your products. So don't fight the waves. Don't say, no, I can't deal with all this. Don't run away, although you may want to retire. Surf the waves. Use the energy of the waves to have a good time surfing. Move with the waves. Embrace change as an opportunity. There's a tremendous amount of change now, which means there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. And they once asked Steve Jobs, they said, Steve Jobs, can you predict the future? And he said, of course I can. How can you predict the future, they asked Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs said, and by the way, I think Apple was the most valuable company or the second most valuable company in the world today. He says, I make the future happen. I don't sit here just get whacked by waves. I go out there and I make waves, or I create things, or I am a creative person. And I think that that's really the lesson that coronavirus is giving us. Our industry is a new opportunity to rewrite the book. We can go after the marketing. We can go after the added value. We no longer have to be captured by the mining companies' high prices. We're off the treadmill. We can breathe. And if we can breathe and we're smart, we can make great profits. Thank you very much. That's it. Questions?
thank you very much, Martin, for exciting, talk. Your talk is always very, influential, and then kind of, people to think about the market, about the future, and so forth. Okay, so this, here, most of the audience for your talk is from Korea, but it's about 200 participants are listening, and then about 30 audiences from other countries in Asia. So not just Koreans are here. So it's good to know. And then questions, it's about what do you think of, now all the markets are down everywhere, but you mentioned that China is coming back, right? And then US market is still it's gonna be about 50% of the diamond market, or diamond buying market?
Yeah, I think that the United States will still be the most important diamond market, and it'll still carry about 50% of demand. China is coming back, but not in the same way. Not in the, it's like people are more conservative and careful. When you think about China's health insurance situation, there is no health insurance in China, really. And so people are saving more than they used to. And when they save more, they buy less diamonds and stuff. So even though China is starting to return, don't forget you had a 60% drop in the first half of sales out there, imports. So you're seeing some changes in China. I think the recent arrest of these numerous smugglers has also slowed down the business. So I do think that China is going to be okay, but it isn't necessarily boom times yet. There was an initial jump, but it's not a boom time. And I think America will keep plodding onwards. Also that America's got a very strong baseline, whereas, China's a lot less. So I would consider that America is going to continue to be the, say, 50% of demand. I think that we'll have to see what those exports from India look like. Because if we're looking at that's how you can really measure things, by watching polished exports from India. And so, I still think that America is going to be the key market that will cause prices to fall or not. Got to watch American demand. And don't forget, America buys a broader range of diamonds. Now, Chow Tai Fook has been expanding in China into third and fourth, tier cities. So that's important too. But in general, without America, the diamond business is screwed.
Okay, so then you mentioned that India reduced the productions. A lot of factories are closed. So this is from a company in Korea who deals with a lot of melis. So compared to the other larger stones or the melis, do you know what kind of productions are there, or kind of a volume was reduced for meli production in India?
There was a significant reduction in meli, creating shortages. What happened was a lot of the workers, you see, the meli is being cut a lot of times by less expensive workers, apprentices, villagers who work in the surat industry. And these independent villagers, a lot of them, they get paid per piece. They went home. They went back to their villages. They left Surat. So there was a sharp, sharp drop in the production. And the factories are coming back up, especially the bigger factories. But they're not the biggest producers of meli necessarily. They've come back to about 60%, I would imagine now. But the meli production has been very low. Now, what we experienced, we are also running these auctions for meli. We sold, I guess about $7 million of meli 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and we sold them to Indian companies via an auction in Dubai, mostly Indian. And we saw a price increase of about 8%. And that's because of shortages. So the meli markets are tighter than they are. And this is inexpensive meli. You're talking about things for about $150, $200 per carat, stuff like that, maybe $300. And so the meli business is now definitely harder hit with shortages because of the production environment in India. Okay, and really no one else produces melly other than Indians. But therefore, I think that demand prices are stable and even a little better. I don't know that how quickly this will return to the previous levels because you're dealing with a social issue in India with people living in their villages and saying, I don't want to go back to, I don't want to go back to Surat. So I imagine it's going to take some time. And certainly after Diwali. Diwali is next month on the 14th. So maybe a week after Diwali we'll start seeing more, but people need to eat, people need to make money, so they will come back to Surat. But it should be clear, India's coronavirus situation is still increasing. And there are problems in India. And as a matter of fact, anyone travels to India has got to go into 2 weeks of isolation. And there's concerns about, factories. So take time, it'll take time. It'll take time, which I think is a good thing because you can now be more careful about how you use your melly. You can now find ways to add value to it. It means diamonds are more precious when there's less of them around. So if you're a big Korean importer of melly, start thinking of how you can optimize the value from the melly you have. Okay? Treat it as something that's not just like easy to get.
I see. All right, thank you. And then there's another question that from the other company is asking, now all the diamond prices came down a little bit, and then now it's going back up, as you said. And what do you think that the price will be gain more? Under 1 carat, around half a carat, or it's going to be larger than 1 carat, or 1 to 3 carats? Price is going to increase?
There's different markets. We talk about diamonds as if there's one diamond market. But actually, there are different diamond markets, as this question is pointing out. Now, China is a very strong buyer for better quality GIA certified and I guess NGTC certified diamonds underneath the carat. And so that is a very important market for the better quality goods under the carat. And I think that market has been stable. We saw a big increase or better prices for half caraters, 30 pointers, but certainly half caraters, and then that calmed down. So I would say over the past, the 30s were really hot a few weeks ago, and then they've kind of calmed down. The 50s are still good, okay? But again, we're not seeing the trend is no longer upward trend, but it's a nice price, and it's a little bit better. Now, the under carat goods in the higher or the better qualities will be very dependent on China. It's a Chinese story. The lower quality goods under the carat is a very big U.S. story. And when you look at the designs and you look at all the stuff that are being put out there, a lot of it is dealing with melly and smaller stones. If you saw that heart-shaped ring with lots of melly in it. So we're going to see a lot of demand for better quality melly as well. But I think that the highest quality certified melly, or not melly, but certified diamonds under the carat is going to be a Chinese story. The lower quality SIJK, SIs, and stuff like that, I1s, is an American story.
Now he's back.
Indeed, I'm back.
Oh my.
Threw me out, but I'm back.
I was about to end the session. I was saying goodbye to everybody. Anyway, sorry, because last part of the answers, we couldn't hear you. We lost you.
Okay, so I would like to say that bigger stones, very interesting. Remember I showed you that there's 2 markets. There's the Wall Street market and the Main Street market. Rich people, poor people. Rich getting richer, poor getting poorer. Now those rich people are buying diamonds, bigger diamonds. You see that in the auctions. The D flawless has gone and increased significantly. Maybe a 10% increase in those diamonds, maybe even 15%. And so we're seeing a movement towards high quality big diamonds, sometimes as investment. But we're also seeing people saying, I want a big diamond. The families, they're together, the husband and wife, they have money, they're not traveling. They'll buy a 3 carat stone. I was just dealing with someone who was buying 3 caraters, VS1s, VS2s, SI1s. So there's a market out there that is emerging, which is very good among the wealthy class for diamonds, and not just investment diamonds, but big diamonds. And then, of course, you've got the craziness of the auctions. Christie's and Sotheby's auctions has been making some high prices. but it's an uneven market. It's choppy, like wavy. So, I think that if you've got some bigger stones, they probably are okay, but watch out for an increase in supply. Demand can be very thin for the bigger and more expensive diamonds. It's even thinner now, maybe because of uncertainty. And, not everybody who is rich is getting richer. A lot of companies are shut down. A lot of stores are out of business. So, you got to think about what you have. And if you can sell, you should sell at a profit. But I don't think this is a good time to speculate in the bigger stones. It's an okay market for now. But if the supply increases significantly, it could be a very difficult market in the months ahead.
Okay, thank you. There's another question about on the diamond value. You said this is time to make profit and so forth, and then by doing it, create desire or add value. So this is adding value is like the old slogan, like a diamond is forever. That is almost similar like that. Could you please give us, some kind of advice or examples to how to add value to the diamond?
All right, first of all, you got to consider your market. Now, the first thing we're seeing is that the mining companies have come to the realization that they have to support generic marketing. Now, marketing is essentially an idea. Marketing isn't like building a factory. Marketing is like having ideas that emphasize the emotional value of your gift. So think about that, right? These marketing guys that De Beers gives $20, $30 million, they're going to spend $20 million between now and the end of the year promoting their ideas of trends and multiple necklaces, horizontal rings. Go to the website and you'll see. Now, the idea that you can make money by giving something new and interesting to your customer who has money. I don't think you can sell a lot of diamonds to very poor people. That's the key. So when we talk about marketing, what we're really talking about ideas that make the diamond more attractive because they fulfill a certain desire among your customers. Now, you can try to push diamond prices high, but that doesn't really work. That's what they've been doing with the rough and all that. But you can pull diamonds with creating demand. So if you want to know how to add value to diamonds, think about how you can make your customer happier. It's all about the customer. What does your customer want? Who are your customers? Do you have customers who want something? What do they want? Sit down with your customer. If you're a Korean jewelry store, say, well, what would you really like? Many years ago, I went to a very fancy dinner in Belgium, one of the best restaurants in the world, apparently. And I asked them, because I'm kosher, I said, do you have a menu? And they started laughing at me, and they laughed at me. And what happened was the chef, the big white hat, came to the table, and he said, Mr. Rappaport, what would you like? Amazing. The restaurant would make you anything you wanted. There was no menu. What would you like? That's the relationship you have to have with your customers. Think about what they would really like, but don't just think about product. Think about their emotional context. A woman comes into the store. She's going to get married. Talk to her and say, well, what did you really like? What can I make for you that's something special? And, stop. I would say also transcend the product to the customer. Stop thinking about pushing product. Start thinking about pulling in customers, relating to customers, being different, being unusual, not being boring, okay? And so if you can find some differentiation points in terms of not only what you're selling, but how you're selling. Are you using the internet? Are you using social media? Are you using Instagram? Are you putting attractive pieces up there? Are you watching what other people are putting on Instagram? Okay? How wide is your view? Okay? And the wider your view, the more customers you can interface with. And look, the coronavirus has created a new digital world. And the digital world has no boundaries. It doesn't have time boundaries. It's not like your store is only open certain hours. It doesn't have geographical boundaries. You could only send in Seoul and not in some other town. It doesn't have product boundaries and design boundaries. You can offer all kinds of products. So play with the new environment to think about how you can make customers happy. And that's what you got to be. Don't think about how you can sell diamonds. Think about how you can make customers happy.
Okay. We have to start, rethinking and all that plan ahead. One more question. I think this will be the last one because of that we already passed the time. What do you talked about only the natural diamond market. What do you think of the future or the status of a laboratory-grown diamond market? Now Chinese and other countries are producing more and more of all these laboratory-grown diamonds.
I think that's interesting because they are, in fact, producing more and more. And they will produce more and more until these diamonds lose value. The key question is, why is the person buying a diamond? Is the value consideration important? Or are diamonds like flowers? They're not expensive, you buy them. Now, at some stage, the price of a diamond isn't, the synthetic diamonds or the lab-grown diamonds, they don't have the ability to hold value. And in other words, you keep manufacturing them and manufacturing them and manufacturing them, and it'll go the same way that synthetic rubies, synthetic emeralds went. And I don't know that the price difference between the Swarovski crystal and the synthetic diamond will be that big after a while. So yeah, I think that Swarovski's got a great business. They sell stuff. Is it a diamond business? No. It's still a good business. But do Swarovski crystals compete with natural diamonds? No. And the key question is, when you look at diamond demand, why is the man buying the woman that diamond? And why is the woman happy to receive it? And does that have something to do with value? Is the value of something, or the ability of something to retain value, is it important in terms of the diamond gifting? And that's the key. If it's not important, if people are just buying flash for cash and they don't care and it's just like some other thing that they're going to tchotchke, that they're going to throw away or something, then synthetic diamonds may be able to do a lot more and take away market share. But if it's something of value, consider a pocketbook. Okay, women love pocketbooks. And they pay a premium price for authentic pocketbooks that retain their value over time. You could probably buy a similar looking pocketbook that's mass manufactured for very, very cheap. Yet people spend tens of thousands of dollars, women, on pocketbooks that are rare, that are, and they keep value. Those pocketbooks can be around for 10 years, okay? So that's the idea to think about. What are you selling when you sell a diamond? Are you selling a diamond that's forever to the extent that the value is forever? Or are you simply selling a short-term, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, here it is kind of thing? And I think that we need to sell it. In other words, we need to sell the idea of value with the diamonds, okay? And the other guys can't sell value. All they can do is sell a little flash. And I don't know that that flash is better than cubic zirconia or anything else. And I just want to say, man, I don't like what's happening with synthetics, but it's natural. People go for the cheap shot. And as I opened this discussion today, and I said, values have values. If you sell a consumer a 3-carat synthetic diamond for $20,000 or $10,000, and then they come back 3 years later and they say, will you buy this back for me? And you say, well, it's only worth maybe $500 now. What kind of person are you? Are you taking advantage of the customer who doesn't realize that the value of these things will go down as manufacturing goes up? You need to love your customer. You need to protect your customer, which is why they're going to you. And one way you protect the customer is making sure that they know. If you're going to sell a synthetic diamond, make sure they know this thing can be worth peanuts in a few years, as there's unlimited manufacturing of the product.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
So, we already went over time. So we have a few more questions, but I think we have to stop right here. Thank you, Martin, for joining and giving us your wisdom and your insight in the industry. I know you had to wake up so early because of the time difference. You were in Israel and we're in Asia. So anyway, thank you so much again, and hope to see you soon in person, right? Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.